We are live. Hello, my friends. Hello. Welcome to the show. How are ya? I am seeing lots of people on YouTube already. Hi, Mary. Hi, Cindy. Hi, Dawn. Leanne, Kimberly. Let's see. There was a question. Dawn asked Gina a question. Dawn, it'll automatically renew. I know the rest of you are like, what is she talking about? She needed to know. She needed to know. So if you know, you know. Hello to all of you guys. Facebook's making their way in the house as well. It's so good to see all of you guys. I hope that we don't have any problems with StreamYard this week. Fingers crossed, everybody, because last week we had major issues with the comment section, and I'm really hoping that it doesn't freeze up and I don't have to pull it up on my phone, because when I pull it up on my phone, I have to pick. It's either YouTube or Facebook. I can't have both. So I missed the comments. So everybody cross your fingers that everything works like it is supposed to this week. Hello. Hi, Ginger. Hi, Katie. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Gwen. It's so good to see you guys. All right. So let's do a little housekeeping, and then we're going to get right into the project today. I hope that you guys are having a good week so far. I know it's only Tuesday. There's a lot more days in this week coming up. Things could go either way, but I'm feeling good. You know why? Because my team won the Super Bowl. So, of course, I started my week out in a great mood. Great mood. Very, very excited about that. That was such a fun game. Well, I mean, part of it was a fun game. I'm not going to lie. I kind of was like falling asleep during the first half. I don't know how the rest of you were feeling, but I was falling asleep during the first half. Second half, I definitely was awake and excited to see that the Chiefs took home the trophy. Hooray! Go Chiefs. I need to hang some of my Chiefs stuff up, but I just haven't had the opportunity to do so. You can see like back there in the corner, right above my finger, you see that clown? Right behind that is a box of Patrick Mahomes Crunch cereal. I'm that weirdo. All right, so okay. Let's see. What else do I need to tell you guys? So I will later this week have an affiliate link ready for you guys for art beads. So if you are looking to make an art beads purchase, you don't have to wait on me. Feel free to go ahead and make your purchase, but in a couple of days, I will have a affiliate link for you that you can use. The reason I don't have it yet is just because I haven't filled out the papers for it, which is really kind of silly. You would think that I would have done it immediately. But I had a bunch of other things going on. So it's on me at this point, but just so that you are aware, Art Beads has put together an affiliate link for me so that for those of you who like to shop for art beads and want to be sure that I get a little bit of commission off of all of those purchases, they were very happy to put together an affiliate link for us. That's really nice because it means that you don't have to shop through the live, because when the live is over, sometimes you forget that in order for me to make for me to get credit for the sales that you make, you have to go back to the live to shop through there. So having the affiliate link is going to kind of take that away, which is really, really nice. So definitely going to get that to you as soon as I possibly can. All right. So other than that, I think everything else is pretty straightforward. This is just a regular week for us. So we've got a project today. We're featuring the bargain bead box. I'm going to talk about that here in just a second. And we will have our Feel Good Friday show at 1 p.m. on Friday, just like always. Hardwired meets today at 4 p.m. Eastern time. So all of the things are back to normal. I'm back from vacation. I'm back in the groove. Everything is going forward as normal, which is nice because it's nice to have the normal back, right? Okay, so let's talk about bargain bead box. And for those of you who have not received your bargain bead box yet, I apologize for doing this video. I normally like push it to the end of the month if possible, but I really wanted to go ahead and use it because it is relevant to Valentine's Day. It doesn't have to be, but it kind of is Valentine's Day themed in a sense. So I wanted to go ahead and use it since tomorrow is Valentine's Day. That being said, if you've not received yours yet, please feel free to click off and come back after you get it, because I don't want to spoil it for anybody, right? I don't want to unbox this and you not have your box yet and me ruin your experience for you. So I apologize if you've not gotten yours yet. I noticed that some people got their boxes really early and some people are still waiting on theirs. So if you don't have yours yet, I'm sure it's going to be here any day now. Also, guys, I also wanted to mention, I don't know if you know this or not. I hope that you do, but it's possible that you missed this little announcement. But Bargain Bead Box has started their own YouTube channel with Lauren, and I definitely want you to go and subscribe. Now, she didn't tell me to tell you that or anything of that nature, but I just think that it's really nice to support them. Bargain Bead Box has been an amazing company that I've worked with. Unboxing worked with. Like, I'm not like, I have an affiliate link with them, but outside of that, like, I just shop with them and I really trust them as a company. So when I say worked with, that's what I mean. I want to support them as much as possible. So please feel free to go over to their YouTube channel and subscribe if you've not yet. They also have a Facebook group that you can be a part of as well. So please be sure that if you feel as confident and good about this company as I do, that you are also subscribing to all of their social media and being a part of their YouTube channel, because it's nice. It's a nice way to support other creators and other small businesses. So definitely take advantage of that. All right. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with Bargain Bead Box is a monthly subscription service that is very, very affordable. This is on the low end of the cost scale when it comes to monthly subscription services. And just because it is lower cost does not mean it is junk. I can attest to that 110%. It is a beautiful box that is curated, has a theme every single month, and they include beads as well as findings, things like bead caps, chain, and other components each month. And I absolutely, like I said, I love this company. I have subscribed to the Bargain Bead Box for years. I've taken a break here and there, but for the most part, it's been a pleasure and a nonstop constant to get a Bargain Bead Box shipment every month. I look forward to it every single month. Now, like I said, this is a very affordable monthly subscription service that I think that you will absolutely love. And in addition to that, you also have access to Bead Box Bargains, which is their sister site. If you're not subscribed, you still have access to that. I don't want it to sound like you don't. People always, come at me in the comments, say, well, you can still shop there, even if you're not subscribed. Yes, you can. You absolutely can still shop at Bead Box Bargains if you are not subscribed to the Bargain Bead Box. However, if you are subscribed to the Bargain Bead Box, you get a 30% off coupon that you can use as many times as you want to throughout the month over on Bead Box Bargains. That kind of sweetens the deal a little bit, particularly for those of us who don't have a wholesale license or any kind of discounts when it comes to shopping. Using that 30% off coupon as many times as you want to throughout the month makes you feel like you are getting an amazing deal, which you actually are. Their prices are already wonderful, and then you add the 30% off coupon to your entire purchase, and it makes it even better. So definitely want you to take advantage of that, because if you're not subscribed, like I said, you don't get that 30% off coupon. And that is just one of the many bonuses of being a part of the monthly subscription service. You can also take your designs and enter to win monthly in their Facebook group, the Bargain Bead Box Creative Corner. Share your photos, right, of your creations, and you have the opportunity to win a $50 gift certificate. So they really want you to take advantage of the monthly subscription service. So if you're looking at all of the monthly subscription services that there are throughout the industry, this is definitely one that I would put on your list as a not miss. Not just because it is a great box monthly, but because of all of the perks that you get along with it. I put this up there. Now it's in a different price category than, say, Sam's Speed Box, but it is definitely one that I wouldn't miss along with Sam's. I definitely don't want to miss on that. Now, if you want one that's a little bit more bougie than even those, the Gemstone Orphanage is another great subscription service. It is definitely on the higher end of cost. I like to have a little bit of everything so that I can really kind of see it all. This is one that is tried and true. All right, so this month it is Budding Romance. Now, like I said, this is most definitely kind of love themed. It is not in your face Valentine's Day pink and red and white at all. It is called Budding Romance, and it has some really romantic colors that are included in it. That's why I wanted to be sure that I got this project out today, because I'm feeling the love, right? And looking forward to tomorrow. And Valentine's Day. Katie says, do you get dollar bead box? I used to, Katie. I used to get dollar bead box all the time. And I have not gotten dollar bead box since they started making it curated, you know, with a theme. So I would really like to go back to dollar bead box. I may have to look into doing that. Because it was a good one. It was a great place to stock up on check glass rounds. That was usually the reason that I used it, because I could get all of those strands. So thank you for reminding me about that, Katie. I feel like I need to revisit that one. All right, so I have the list. I normally lose my list, but I have my list. We're going to go through this month's shipments in our little baggie, and then we're going to put together a pair of earrings. Let's see. Pamela says, could you please pin your affiliate links in a post on Facebook? Yes, absolutely. I will get my team to do that. I think they are pinned somewhere, but sometimes they get moved around when there are other things that are pinned. They kind of get pushed to the back. So yes. Susan wants to know, isn't Bargain Bead Box a small business? Yes, they are. They are a small business, which is one of the reasons that I love to support them, because they are a small business. They're very close to where I live, so I get shipping from them super, super quick, and their customer service is absolutely top notch. It is very rare that they make a mistake. However, if they do make a mistake and you reach out to them, they are more than happy to fix it for you, and they always throw in extra goodies for your trouble. So yes, yes, small business. So if you're looking to support small businesses, this is definitely one that you don't want to pass up. All right, I'm going to turn you around and we are going to get started. Okay, so like I mentioned, every month it is themed, and Budding Romance is such a pretty collection. We're going to go through. Jen says, do they deliver to the UK? Jen, I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. But I can find out for you. We can definitely get an answer to that question. All right, so I'm going to go through the beads first, and then we're going to look at all of the other metal components that are here. This is such a pretty palette. This one had me at garnets. Okay. It just, like, I saw the garnets and I was like, yep, I'm in love already. So we've got some 3 to 3.5 millimeter garnet microfaceted round beads. This is a 15-inch strand. I've used some of mine in the project, so this is no longer a full strand, but I love a microfaceted gemstone bead. It doesn't matter to me what it is, but I do love garnets. If you're in Hardwired with me, you know that garnet is my daughter's birthstone, and I just recently made her a faceted garnet necklace for her birthday that was absolutely stunning. The beads were a little bit bigger than this. I actually kind of prefer this size, this smaller size. So, so pretty. Now, what do I like to do with mine? I'll show you. Micro facets make the best clusters. So if I were going to do what I normally do, I would sit and make an amazing cluster like this with those garnets, just because the size, that 3.5 is the perfect size for this. But they look beautiful in other ways as well. I'm going to set this over here to the side. Like I said, there's some loose beads in here, so I don't want to take this one all the way out. All right, next up, rose quartz tumbled nugget beads. This is a 16-inch strand. This is so, so pretty. Gina says garnets go with everything. I agree. Look how beautiful these are. I love a nugget. There's something about a nugget. It's so much different than working with a chip, because it's smooth and it's rounded. And I don't know, it just works more like a round bead than a chip does, as far as like ways you can incorporate them into your work. But I love just a long strand of nuggets. I think they're just stunning. I would probably hand knot these. Or I don't know, maybe pop a garnet in between there. Yes, that's so pretty. So, so pretty. All right. My favorite bead in this shipment this month were the Malaysian jade dyed quartz. These 8 millimeter. This color is like raspberry. This was, this entire month had beautiful things in it, but this was definitely my top favorite bead. There's just something about it. I don't know if it's that yummy raspberry color or if it is the variation that's in it, because you've got the deep red and then the lighter pink shades in it. I don't know what it is, but that was my favorite bead. Favorite, hands down. All right, some more jade. This is faceted round. These are also absolutely beautiful. This is a 7-inch strand of 10mm beads. Such a beautiful, again, that raspberry. It's like raspberry jelly. Love. So, so pretty. I like it because it's not just like red or pink. They've picked raspberry as their like main color for this romance palette, which I think is just stunning. All right, some more of the jade. This is a 6x4mm faceted rondelle. I've used these in our project. So again, this is not a full strand. Beautiful faceted rondelles. So, so pretty. I love those. Gotta be careful because, like I said, there's some loose ones in there. I shouldn't lose any. There's some loose in my bag here because I used these for our project. Gosh, it's just a pile of beautifulness. Love it, love it. All right, now they mix things up a little bit here by throwing in some extra colors, which I think is really kind of smart because you can make your own like mini palettes out of this. So this is 6x4 crystal faceted rondelles in this really cool purpley color. This is like a soft lilac purple. Really, really pretty. So it works really well with the raspberry, right? Or you can use it on its own or mix it with some of these other colors. Like I said, pops of color in here that were kind of unexpected. These are 4mm crystal faceted rondelles in this really cool kind of minty teal green, which also works. So you can put these two together, right? Or you can do the minty green with the raspberry, the lilac purple with the raspberry. They all go together to make this really crazy cool color palette. And then a pop of blue, which I thought was very unexpected, but works. More Malaysian jade here in this really awesome sky blue color. All soft, right? There's nothing harsh about this color palette. Now the blue, the green, and the purple were kind of unexpected, but they work because they're this like muted, subdued, like pastel color. So they're not like in your face. And again, you can just do little mini palettes, or you can do all of them together, or you can mix and match. Like I kind of love that. These are colors that I normally would not put together, which to me is an amazing opportunity for growth here, right? Because again, these are not colors that normally I would put together. Maybe you would, but I wouldn't. And so that stretches me as a designer to think outside the box and to mix these colors together in ways that I normally would not do, which overall just makes me a better designer, more rounded. Oh, you know, I love opportunities like that because, like I said, this is not normal for me. Like you had me at raspberry, but you threw in the mint green and I was like, well, wait a minute, that works, but I would never do that. And I love that they did it for me to make me think outside of my little creative box. All right, so what else do we have? There's always extras. Lauren said the blue was a freebie as it didn't dye the color that she wanted. Well, it works with the box. So I love that. I love that. But like just taking it out altogether, I mean, it's still a great box. I think the blue was perfect. I think it was perfect. And I'll take a freebie all day, every day. Listen. All right. Then we had a let's see. I lost the little baggie for this one. A Malaysian jade teardrop pendant, which is stunning. So pretty and so fancy. Look how fancy that is. I just want to put it with this strand right here. That's so pretty. Pop a couple of little spacers in there if you wanted to, or bead caps, because you got a whole bag of 6.5mm scalloped bead caps. Bargain Bead Box is one of my very favorite places to stock up on bead caps. If you like bead caps, some people don't. if you like bead caps and you like to use them as a way to add depth and texture to your designs and to extend the length of the strands that you have, this is a wonderful place to stock up. They have lots of different styles and sizes, and you can stock up and use that 30% off coupon. So love bead caps. All right, then we have some metal beads. These are flower space beads, though I would use them on their own. I don't necessarily have to use them as a spacer, but they're very, very pretty. I love that. And I love that they did gold with this. Silver would have worked, but I think the gold is a really nice accent to the color palette here. All right, so also have, I love this little component. This is a gold plated brass filigree flower chandelier pendant. I think this is really pretty. I wish that there had been 2 of these. I understand why there's not, but I wish that there had been 2 because I think these would have made beautiful components for earrings. But keep in mind, guys, you can go over to Bead Box Bargains and you can reorder the things that you see in the monthly subscription. So if you wanted another one of these, you can grab one over on the website as long as they're still there and they haven't sold out. I think this is beautiful. I've never seen a component like this one. And I just think that it's very romantic. It's really, really pretty. So there was that. All right. Now there is a set of 2 of the chandelier components. These are really pretty too. Look at these. These would make some really beautiful long earrings. So, so pretty. Got your 3 little connectors here. You put your ear wire at the top. You could use these for a 3-strand necklace and have your 3 strands going between them if you wanted to. Or you could use them as a hand chain. Could have your 3 strands coming down to your ring. Be so, so pretty. I love a component like this because there's so many things you can do with them. I know most people look at them and think earrings, which they make absolutely beautiful earrings, but I 100% would use them as multi-strand components, right? Oh, love that. Love those. So, so pretty. All right. And, ooh, Kimberly had the same idea. She's planning a multi-strand necklace with those. Love that idea. All right. Enamel metal rose. So one of the other things that Bargain Bead Box has got a lot of lately is the enamel. And I'm kind of a fan of the enamel. These are not my favorite. These are really, really pretty. And I do think that they go very, very well with this box. But they've had some of the cutest, like, little bunnies. The cats were probably my favorite. So if you like enamel components, you like to add enamel charms or pendants or just little elements that have enamel, definitely check them out because they have some of the cutest little enamel things over on the website. Another enamel charm that is included. This kind of makes the blue work overall. And these are these branch charms in teal. This makes the blue all come together. So even if it was a freebie, they tied it together so well by throwing these in here. Now it is a cohesive color palette that makes sense, where now I don't look at the blue and I'm like, what? It works. It absolutely works. And to make sure that it did, you have these super cute little components, which just make a pretty little charm. I love those. You could turn them this direction and wire wrap and make a loop up here if you wanted to. I think they're so pretty. I love that. This color palette is it's just beautiful. It really is. This is like giving me spring vibes, you know? All right. We've got a toggle. Another wonderful thing to stock up on is clasps. If you like specialty clasps, then definitely check out Bead Box Bargains for those, because those are so, so pretty. You can grab a bunch of these if you want to order them in bulk. You can see the toggle bar is a little flower. The rest of it is just a really pretty little ring that's got some leaves on it. It looks like it's made out of branches with a little flower. Love that. So pretty. All right, there are 2 other things included here. There is chain, which I'm always a fan of. I love that they always have chain. That's one of my very favorite things to get. And then we had gold-plated brass and cubic zirconia drops. Now there were 2 of these. We're using these drops in our earrings. So mine is over here to the side, but there is one of them. Like I said, you get 2 of these, but mine are off to the side here because I'm going to use those in our project. Super, super pretty. I love this palette. I think it's beautiful. I think it's beautiful. I really, really do. And we got the bonus of something that didn't turn out the way that they wanted it to, which ended up being an opportunity for us, right? To get an extra strand of beads and to do something fun with those. Love that they included the blue enamel to make it all make sense. So pretty. So, so pretty. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right. So let's put together some earrings, shall we? I am using the rondelles, these right here. So I'm going to scoot all of the rest of this over to the side. I'm using the jade rondelles and our garnets, plus our little charm here to create some earrings. So let me show you our cha-cha style earrings. So these are what we're making today. Now, I realize this is a big earring. I know. At this point, guys, you guys have been with me for years. You know, I like big earrings. You can size this down. If this is too big of an earring for you, 100% make it smaller, or turn it into a pendant instead of using it as an earring. You're not going to hurt my feelings. Hopefully, more than anything, you're just going to take away the shaping of the wire. That's the big part. That's the big technique here, if you will. Okay. All right. So we're going to be using some 18 gauge German style wire to create our component. Then we're using some 24 gauge wire to create the loops, and then just hanging our dangles. This is a pretty straightforward project. We're using our mandrel tool for this. And I normally use the round mandrel for my mandrel tool, but I thought we would change things up a little bit, and we're using the square today, which we never seem to use. So I thought this was a good opportunity to kind of change things up. I'm going to raise you up just a little bit so I've got plenty of room, and we are going to get right into it. All right, so we've got our 18 gauge wire here. Gina, I like how you think. Right? Perfect. Those and a smile. That's what I'm wearing tomorrow. I love it. Okay, so you're really only going to need like 6 inches of your 18 gauge wire. I do have a 6-inch piece and a 7-inch piece cut here, just because sometimes, even though it only takes a certain amount of wire, sometimes it's easier on your fingers, particularly if you're new at shaping wire, to use more wire than you need. It just makes life a little bit easier on you. Do you have more waste? Yes. But in the beginning, when you're just getting comfortable with using wire, sometimes it's better to have extra waste, and to not have the frustrations, right? Okay, so let's take a look here. This one that doesn't have the dangles on it, to kind of see where my triangle, not my triangle, but my square. 1, 2, 3 up from the bottom is the one that we're going to be using to shape our wire. So I'm taking my 18 gauge wire, I'm finding the middle pretty close, and I'm just going to sit that onto the mandrel at the corner, right? So I'm at the corner holding that wire with my thumb, and then I'm going to guide the wire around the component. And it's a little different because this is the square, it's not the circle. So we really have to be mindful of pushing that wire down and pushing it up against the edge. All right, then we're going to take it off of the component, and then we're going to open it up, right? Because we're making a drop shape out of ours. We're not making a square. We're making this kind of oblong, kind of teardrop type shape. Okay, so now you want to come in with like your flat nose pliers or your chain nose pliers. And I do like to kind of sharpen mine up just a little bit. So what I do is I'll just grab the wire at the bends and just kind of bite down on it with my pliers. It just kind of sharpens up the edges just slightly. It doesn't make a huge change, but it does kind of deepen the bends a little bit. So like I said, I don't know that it makes a huge difference, but I can tell. I just kind of straighten the wire up a little just by kind of biting down on it, right? All right, now it's up to you to kind of decide how big you want your earring to be. Like you can make a really long drop, or you can size it down a little bit. If this is the first one out of the two, this is your opportunity to kind of pick. If this is your second one, because you've already made one, then you do kind of want to get it as close to the first one as possible. So I'm going to kind of lay it over and then just kind of hold it with my finger. Then I'm going to take that wire that's crossing in the front and I'm just going to push it to the back, just like that. That's going to hook it, right? Then I'm going to double check before I commit, making sure that they're pretty close. Bend one wire upwards. All right, now the wire that I've got bended to the back, I'm just going to go ahead and continue to squeeze it down. And then I'm going to come in with my cutter tool here. And I'm going to trim. Right, so I've got a little hook there. You could make it a full-on loop if you want to, but honestly, it's on the back so you don't see it. So I trimmed it, and then I'm just going to kind of mush it flat. Well, that didn't mush very well. Basically, you just want to get it as closed as possible so that you've maintained your shape, right? All right, so now I'm going to drop it in the floor on top of a sleeping dog here at my feet. Hold on. All right, now you've got enough wire here. If you use the 7-inch piece, you've got plenty of wire. If you use the 6-inch piece, you don't have nearly as much wire left over. But what I want to do is just do a simple loop. So I'm going to take the wire, I'm going to bend it out this direction. I'm going to come in with my cutter tool, trim off, leaving myself about 1/4 of an inch of wire. And then I'm going to use my round nose pliers and roll back to create a simple loop. Okay. All right. Now, again, before I work harden any of this, I want to be sure that it's pretty similar to the first one that I made because I want them to be pretty close. They're not going to be exact, but that's pretty darn close. All right. Now I'm going to bring in my block and I'm going to use my nylon hammer and I'm going to work harden this. And you'll notice I'm holding my loop off the side here because otherwise this won't lay flat on my block. Okay, now just double check, make sure it's as hardened as you want it. All right, now we're going to create our loops, and the loops are using 24 gauge wire. You're going to need about 12 to 16 inches of that 14 gauge wire. It doesn't take a whole lot. And I'm going to use my small bell making pliers to do the loops. You can use your round nose pliers if you want to, but I encourage you, if you're going to use your round nose pliers, to do this to mark them so that you hold them at the same spot every single time so that your loops are consistent. A way around that, again, is use the bell making pliers because they're not tapered. So all right, I'm going to grab some 24 gauge wire. Now, if you want to use, I'm using German style wire, but you can use artistic wire if you want to, totally up to you. Okay, it makes absolutely no difference as far as this is concerned. Now, with the component itself, I definitely recommend using the German style wire because it has that medium temper, so it doesn't take nearly as much work hardening. But okay, so I've got my piece of wire here and I'm going to anchor this to my component by wire wrapping my little tail on here. And just, 3 or 4 wire wraps is plenty. And actually, I did that the wrong way. I'm going to undo this because I want my wire not coming from the back. I want it going from the front to the back. So let me trim this off. We're going to do this again. Okay, so what I want is I want my working wire to be on the top so that I'm going clockwise. So that'll make more sense here in just a second, but yes, Gina says, so will the rawhide and the nylon hammer give the same results? They absolutely will. And listen, I had somebody ask me, this is a really good question. I had somebody ask me the other day, you know, if I don't have a nylon hammer, can I use my chasing hammer? Is there something that I can put on the end of it, you know, to keep it from marking up the wire? You 100% can use your metal chasing hammer to work harden your wire. And if you are tapping really, really lightly, you won't mark up the wire or flatten it. Now, if you are hitting it very hard, obviously you're going to flatten that curved surface of your round wire with your chasing hammer. But you 100% can work harden with it. You just need to be really, really gentle. And I just to re-answer your question, yes, rawhide, plastic, nylon, rubber, they're all going to work harden. So don't feel like you got to go out and grab a nylon hammer if you don't have one. Definitely use what you've got. They will all work harden the same. Okay, so now you can see my wire is in the clockwise, right? So we're coming from the back over the top of the wire. That's for me, that's kind of the way I want my wire to go. It's up to you. I just like to be going in that direction. So I'm going to use the smallest mandrel out of the two, and I'm going to lift you up even more. How about a wooden hammer? I don't know about a wooden hammer. Not sure. I'm not sure. I would think so. I would think it would work, but I've never used one, so I'm not entirely sure about that. All right, so I'm holding the component between the barrels of my small bell making pliers, right? And I'm going to take the wire and I'm just going to guide it around the edge of that small mandrel, and I'm following that same path of the wire. So I'm still going in that clockwise manner. So you can see the wire is going over the component. Now I'm going to the back of the component, right? So I'm not just going to the front. I'm following the same path that the wire was going in. And I'm going to hold it on the component, and I'm going to wire wrap 2 times. I'm coming up for wire wrap number 3. I'm going to straighten that wire out. I'm going to take this off of the tool, and I'm going to move over, grabbing the component right where my wire is, and again, guiding it around, and then wire wrapping. So 2 wraps in between. And when I come up for wire wrap number 3, that's when I move my tool. So I'm just using that mandrel to create that curved shape for our little loop here. So I'm going to do 4 on the sides. I'm going to do 1 in the middle at the bend. And you can adjust these as well. So if it looks like you're running out of room, you can kind of slide them over a little bit, right? So now I've got plenty of room to get that 4th one in. All right, so now when I come up for wrap number 3, I do need to scoot it over just slightly. So the wraps are just slightly to the edge of the tip of the bend, right? That means that when we go to grab this with our tool, we're placing that little mandrel right in the bend. Now don't squeeze, because you're going to change the shape of your component. You're just very lightly holding this in that spot. Don't squeeze with your tool at all, okay? Just hold it there as lightly as you possibly can to get those wire wraps without distorting the shape of your component. Okay. So you can see now I've got one loop that's in the middle. Now I'm going to do 4 more. So I'm placing the tool just right up against the previous wire wraps. Ginger's asking me. I love you, Ginger. She said, how did you figure out the spacing without using math? It was just trial and error. I knew that I wanted one in the middle. And then I just kind of looked at the pliers to like looking at the mandrel. And I was like, well, if I use the larger one, I could probably only get 3. But if I use the smaller one, I'm sure I'm going to get 4. I math, just not, you know, just not like normal people would math. I avoid math at all costs, people. I really do. Do not math. That's why I have a math team, right? I have Kathy and Bonnie to do all my mathing for me. And when Q is in the house, Q does mathing for me. While he's at work, I'm kind of on my own. But fortunately for me, I always have someone else around to math for me. And if all else fails, I use my phone, right? I can cheat, use my phone. It can math for me. All right, so last one. This one is really close to the edge. Again, you can scoot them over just a little bit. It will move for you. So doesn't have to, just because you put it in one spot doesn't mean it has to stay there. It will move a little for you. Math is great. I'm just not good at it. But I'm glad Bonnie is good at it. All right, so I'm just going to finish this off with a couple more wire wraps. I've got that last loop is nice and stationary. So now I can just finish this off. And now I'm ready to trim. So trimming off the excess wire. And we've got a cute little component that you can use for earrings. You can use it for a pendant. If you want to make it smaller, you absolutely can. And you've got your little connections, right? Okay, so for the one that I made, I used those beautiful jade rondelles with the little faceted, the micro faceted garnets. So I'm going to use some head pins. We're going to wire wrap them directly to our component. We'll do as many as we can. It's okay if we don't get through all of them because I've got one that's already ready for the next step if we need to use it for a step out. Because it does take a while because we're doing, what, 9 of these? Look at me mathing. We're doing 9 of these, so it's a lot of wire wrapping. We'll do as many as we can. So I know that's a lot of repetition, but I'm just using some ball end head pins. You don't have to. You can use whatever you want, but I'm going to put on one of the rondelle, the jade rondelles, and then one of the garnets, and I'm going to start my wrapped loop. So I'm going to come in with my chain nose pliers, grabbing the wire, bend over the top of the pliers. Then I'm going to come in with my round nose pliers. All right, we're going up and over. I'm going to rotate those pliers in my hand so I can take the wire over to the other side, take it off of the tool, and then you're going to take the tail end of that wire and you're going to stick it through one of your loops and then just slide it right in. And then I like to use my bent chain nose pliers to hold on. And then wire wrap. Now, if you want to do these separately and just attach them with jump rings, you can. Just know that if you attach these with jump rings instead of wire wrapping them directly to your component, it does add a little extra length. So just keep that in mind. If you want to keep the length of these dangles short, then go with like a 4 millimeter or a 3 millimeter jump ring so that they're not crazy long, unless you want them to be crazy long, right? Maria says, how are your dog babies doing? Miss their occasional barking. Oh, they are all in here right now taking a nap. All 4 of them are in the floor, snoozing away. The husky is literally laying on my foot at the moment. They wore themselves out, barking at the garbage man. He came through. He comes through on Tuesdays. And it just so happened that they were in the yard at the same time that he was here picking up the trash cans. And so they went completely bonkers while he was here and wore themselves out. So now they're all napping quietly because, you know, it's a hard life making sure that the garbage man doesn't actually step into the yard, which cracks me up. But yep, they're all here. They're just worn out from protecting me from my garbage man, who is the sweetest man ever. But yeah. And previous to that, they barked at the mailman. So, I mean, they've had a busy morning, you know? Look how pretty. I love the pink, that raspberry pink with the deep garnet. Oh, so pretty. So pretty. This was just such a pretty box. I really, really enjoyed this color palette so much. Ginger lives near the Air Force Base and her dog barks at the planes. Oh my gosh, my dogs would go crazy. They would go crazy. I will definitely give them lots of pets for you. I get it with the garbage truck because they're not barking at my garbage man. Like I said, he's super sweet, and it's not that. It's the garbage truck itself. I mean, it looks like a big mechanical monster. Of course they're barking at it. It's loud. It makes weird noises. It kind of rumbles. It does this high-pitched like squeaking noise. Like, of course. If I were a dog, I would bark at that too. Dorothy says she's going to invest in the Xuron tools. Listen, I want to talk about the tools for just a second. So forever and a million years, I have used Beadalon tools, and I still 100% love my Beadalon tools. I bought these Xuron pliers for myself, 2 or 3 Christmases ago. Some of you remember. And I bought them and then I never used them. I don't know why. It was just one of those things. I never thought to use them. And this year, not this year, but the end of last year, I decided to start using them. And I really, really love them. And the reason that I love them is because I love the teeny tiny tip on them. That is my very, very favorite thing. So I was like, okay, I'm going to get myself the bent ones too, because I always have a pair of regular and a pair of bent pliers on my desk. I also love the bent as well. So I have been using those. Then I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and just get the round nose ones as well. So I have the whole set. I can feel like, you know, I've got the whole thing going on. And hopefully Beadalon won't be too mad at me for using the Xuron pliers. I got the round nose pliers, and you may have a completely different experience, but I don't like them. The round nose pliers, I'll show them to you. I'm just not a fan. There's something about them that is just a little off. I don't know if it's the metal. It's kind of rough, so they're not super smooth. There's something about them I don't like. So I have them, But I'm sticking with my trusty Beadalon because they know how to make a round nose plier. They know how to make all pliers. All of Beadalon's tools are, in my opinion, the cream of the crop. They really are. They are the best of the best. I will not give up my Beadalon round nose pliers. I just won't. And not only that, but I won't give up my cutter tool either. I do have a Zuron cutter tool, which I like, and it's fine, but it does not feel nearly as sturdy and dependable as this one does. So I cannot recommend enough the chain nose and the bent chain nose. But I don't know that if I were to make the choice again, I would not have spent the money on the cutter tool or the round nose pliers, just because the Beadalon ones seem to be superior to me. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. I wish that the round nose pliers had been as nice, but they're just, to me, they're just not. They're not the greatest. And the cutter tool's great. It's just not, to me, it just doesn't feel as, I don't really know how to explain it. You know how you just feel the quality of something? The quality just didn't feel as good as the Beadalon. Again, just my opinion. I'm not trying to tell you what to do one way or another. You may have a totally different experience with the round nose pliers. Maybe I just got a dud, but I definitely prefer the Beadalon round nose. 100%. Exactly. We just know what we like. And for me, the round nose ones were just not it. I don't know. It just felt like it was scratching up the metal every time I went to use them. I didn't feel like I was getting consistent loops. But everybody's going to have a different experience, I'm sure. I have made sure that that Art Beads they restocked the flush cutters, the Beadalon flush cutters. And we're going to very soon, very soon, we're going to have German style wire over on the Art Beads website as well. So stay tuned for all of that. All right, so it's just kind of repetition here. I'm just wire wrapping all the dangles onto each one of the loops here. That's why we can chit chat a little bit while I'm doing it. Because it's really just kind of doing the same thing over and over again. We've got, 3 more to go. How pretty. Now, truthfully, any of the beads in this shipment would have looked beautiful. But I really loved the combination of the lighter pink with this deep, I'm going to call it pink because the garnet is also like a raspberry pink. It's really hard to see the holes on these micro facets. There we go. So that is a great question. Kimberly wants to know, when is my Michael's class? My Michael's class is next Monday, guys. And we will be posting reminders for all of that. It's been several months since I have done a Michael's class, and so I'm getting back into the groove of things. We are doing a wire wrapped bangle bracelet on Monday, and I believe that is at 1 p.m. I don't want to say that for sure at the moment, just because I cannot remember, but I'm pretty sure it's at 1 o'clock on Monday. And I will be, for the time being, I'll only be doing one a month. Meredith is also doing one a month over on the Michael's classes as well. So if you want even more content, be sure that you're checking those out. Set your reminders. Yes, Ginger's got it. Monday, February 19th at 1 p.m. Oh, that's 1 p.m. Central Time? Interesting. So I guess that's noon for me because I thought it was 1 p.m. I don't know. I have to double check with them because I didn't know I was doing. I didn't know it was at noon, but okay. Interesting. All right. 2 more to go. And then we're going to hang our dangle to this. Now, the dangle part of this, I kind of wish I had done differently. We'll talk about that as we are putting it together. The way I did it works out just fine. It's not my favorite. It's not my favorite way to put a dangle on something, but it does work. So we'll talk about that here in just a second. So let's get this last one. It'll be at 2 for me. Okay, thanks. Thanks for mathing. See, I can't even keep up with the time differences. My gosh. Let's go in the wrong direction with that. Oh my. All right, last one. Okay. This one wire wrapped. Cut off the excess. Okay, look how pretty. So even if you don't add a dangle to the center, this is still just such a pretty design. I love that so much. Okay, so let's talk about adding the dangle here to the center. So we're using our little drop or a little charm that was in our bead box, right? And I've just created like a little chain out of 4mm jump rings. So I've used a total of 4 of the 4mm jump rings just to give it a little extra length so that it hangs more in the center than it does up here towards the top, which you can totally make it hang at the top if you want to. I just wanted mine to be a little bit more towards the middle of the component. The issue that I have with this is that because of the way that I constructed this component at the top, right? It's essentially 2 loops, a loop for the top, and then we had that loop that we squished for the back, means that I don't really have any way of dangling something. So what I did was I just used a jump ring, right? A larger 6mm jump ring to go through the loop here at the top. And I'll show you how to do that here in just a second. And that's fine. It's just not my favorite way to add a dangle to something. So if I were doing this again, I probably would either take a piece of wire and do a little wire wrap. Let's see, we'll take a scrap here. I don't really have any scrap, but I can use one of my head pins here. I would do like one of those, right? And wire wrap on either side and then hang my dangle from that, just because it would look a little bit cleaner. The alternative to that would be to do a wrapped loop with our loop. And I don't know if you guys remember or not, but we've done a wrapped loop at the top of a component where we've done like a little, it has a drop included in it. I would probably do that. So not that this looks bad. It doesn't. It looks fine and it hangs exactly the way I want it to. It's just not my favorite. So there's a lot of different ways that you can hang something from the center of this. Just know that this is not the only way. Okay. So again, like I mentioned, I did a chain of 4 4mm jump rings. And then I'm going to use a 6mm jump ring, which I have not misplaced. I found it. I'm going to use it to go through. So it's going to cross over everything here. Do you see what I mean? And then I'm just going to hang this from that and close that back. I mean, it's easy. This works. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not my favorite. It was because this part of the design was kind of an afterthought after I had already put the component together. And I was like, well, darn, I could have just made hanging something from it part of the actual construction of the component itself. And I didn't. So, all right, then we're going to add our ear wire and these are done. Easy peasy pumpkin squeezy on that part. And we're done. So pretty. Love the way these turned out. I would even add maybe one more jump ring to make this hang just a little bit longer. But I still think that it is quite stunning. Instead of using that drop here, though, you could do another one of these like rondelles with the with the garnet on top of it here in the center, or nothing at all, because like I showed you, it looked pretty with absolutely nothing hanging there. So you don't have to put anything in the middle of it at all if you don't want to. Still looks really pretty. All right, I'm gonna turn you guys around, and I'm gonna put these on because, you know, they're pretty and we can. But first I want to show them to you hanging like this because, gosh, they're so pretty. I love it. I love it so, so much. Oh my. Oh, those are fabulous. So we're doing like small Valentine's tomorrow, but we're doing like our actual Valentine's on Saturday because tomorrow is work your butt off Wednesday for me. Wednesdays are the days that I come in here early and I'm in here until like 2 in the morning working on kits. So, you know, we can't really stop for dinner or anything tomorrow. I'm going to wear these on Saturday. That's kind of what I was trying to say. I don't know. I have to make everything like, I have to give you the longest explanation ever. These are beautiful. They really are beautiful. They have like this kind of Bollywood thing to them, right? I was thinking, oh, I'm going to put those in the Etsy shop and they'll sell real quick. I don't think I'm going to sell them at all. I think I'm going to keep them because they're just so pretty. Put my hair up and I don't really need much of anything else. Those are stunning. Those are stunning. I hope you guys like them because I certainly do. I think they're so, so pretty. All right. So that is it for me, you guys. It looks like our comment section has completely frozen. It looks like the last comment I got was from Holly. 1 p.m. Central would be 2 p.m. Eastern. If anything was said after that, I don't see any of those comments. So I apologize. I don't know what's going on with StreamYard. It's hit or miss these days. So, all right, I'm out of here. I hope that you have enjoyed today's project. Please feel free to use my affiliate link with the bargain Bead Box bargains if you would like to. You do not have to, but do know that if you do, I get a small commission off of all of those sales. I appreciate you guys so, so much. Thank you for letting me be a part of your Tuesday afternoon, early afternoon for a lot of you. And I will be back on Friday at 1 p.m. for our Feel Good Friday show. So please set your reminders for that, as well as 4 p.m. on Friday for my Art Beads Live. I've got beautiful design for that show coming up. Hardwired, we will be together at 4 p.m. Eastern time this afternoon for our weekly project. We are putting together some really fabulous bangle bracelets. Cannot wait to put those together. I'm going to hold those up for you guys so that you can see. This is our Hardwired project for the week. All right, everybody, I'm headed out. Thank you so much again, and I look forward to seeing you guys very soon. Hardwired, I'll see you in a couple of hours. The rest of you having a great rest of your week, and I'll see you on Friday. Bye, guys.